Right, England head coach Thomas Tuchel has backed Anthony Gordon's move to Barcelona, but has warned him it is a significant step up. Gordon joined Barcelona in a deal worth £69.3 million and signed a 5-year deal. He scored 17 goals last season for Newcastle. Tuchel had this to say about it. He will land in one of the biggest clubs in the world, totally new style of playing football. And of course, in a culture where winning every match matters. He wanted that. He wanted a new adventure. I'm happy for him, and I think it will only be good for his experience. Well, Gordon's move means that he could be competing with Marcus Rashford for a place in both England and Barcelona's attack. Barcelona have an option to buy Rashford from Manchester United for £26 million, but are yet to indicate if they will. And on Gordon and Rashford's club and country rival, Tuchel said this: "It's a slight quirk, yes. They can do what they do here, yes. We see it with Saka and Madueke. Let's see what Marcus decides. I'm not involved in that, obviously."
It's a little vote. Who believes England are going to win the World Cup?
I'm going to have to put my hand.
Well, Ian, I love that. Yeah, well done. We got another one at the back. Another one at the back.
It's about a little bit of luck. And that's the thing. You know that as well. A little bit of luck. There's penalties that don't go in. A little bit of luck.
Yeah.
And once you get out the group stages, and that's the most important thing. Tuchel, I remember going to Brazil. Again, I remember going out there so happy. 4 days later, I was going home because Roy Hodgson wasn't sending us to Rio. You know what I'm saying? And I just said to myself, tell you something. I know I used to moan about England not being all sparkly in the group stages anymore. I literally do not care. You can go out there, put 11 men behind the ball. Let's just get us out them group stages, because once you got the group stages, boom, you know, you're being Bellingham on or whatever like that.
Is there any worry from an England point of view about when Germany come into, like Germany, England, say, in a semi or a final with the manager and stuff? I just find it remarkable that the manager is German.
No, not at all. He'll want to beat Germany.
You think?
I'm saying he'll want to prove a point. He's like, you didn't give me the German manager, so I'm going to be here. I'm going to beat you.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Interesting. I learned a lot about Tuchel from one of the podcasts that Jonathan did, and Nagelsmann and Tuchel are like protege and mentor. Is that right? So.
Yes, sort of, yeah. So that's another time.
Big narrative.
I think Tuchel would back himself in that one. I think.
Yeah.
I think when you look at the squad, he's put energy and athleticism and harmony over talent. There's no when you're talking about talent.
Harmony is a good word to use, I think.
I think he sees certain players. Maybe Trent's one of them. Maybe Foden, Palmer. I don't know the Harry Maguire one, but the fact he's gone for Dan Burn, I think most people in this room would probably say, you'd say Harry Maguire's probably a better player than Dan Burn, but I know he loves Dan Burn in and around the squad. He
can also play left back, Dan, as well, can't he?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, so just when you're listening to him and talking to him, obviously I know Anthony Barry a little bit through his Scouser, but they put great store in this togetherness, and we're going to be as a group for hopefully 6 weeks. But this is bigger than just having a talented player. We can't have anybody who brings the group down in any way, or a negativity, or they're not happy, they're not playing, or they're throwing their arms about. This is about we're going to be a team. And he's not daft. Tuchel, he obviously knows in Foden and Palmer, Trent Alexander-Arnold, probably 3 of the most technical players we've got right now. But they're not in a squad. And you think of something... Anthony Barry mentioned, I think, Jonathan, you mentioned before about how they're going to go about winning the World Cup. Now, it won't be about, maybe amazing football or pressing, but set pieces are going to play a big part in it as well. So maybe that's in their idea, maybe also rotation. And the thing that I thought was interesting is, when he picked the 4 wingers, I've got that right, Madueke, Saka, Anthony Gordon, Rashford, yeah. Normally, when you're picking a squad, you'll think, OK, we'll have a quick one, and then we might have someone who gets between the lines. So you've almost got different types of players. Whereas they're actually think, no, our wingers are just going to be fast. We're not going to have a Foden or a Palmer who maybe gets in the pockets. If Saka's not playing, Madueke's just going to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. But it's about pace, it's about energy, it's about runners. It's not sort of players getting between the lines. And if you go back to the last tournament, that was the criticism, wasn't it, of Gareth Southgate? There was almost too many of those players. He was trying to fit them in, wasn't he, to try and
it's about the fit with
the team.
Kane. I think Tuchel is obsessed with Harry Kane, and understandably so. It's all in that front line. It's all about the fit with Kane, and if he's dropping deep, which he does very naturally, occupying the centre-backs, how do you make the most of that where you need people penetrating in behind?
What's your opinion on
making the most
Kane?
of
I mean,
that?
he's had an unbelievable scoring career in the last couple of years. But in the last majors and in the Euros, obviously, it felt like you were carrying him for a long period.
I think
He had a back
hopefully,
injury as well.
hopefully he's coming into it physically in much
Yeah.
better shape. I mean, the confidence that he's playing with at the moment is just ridiculous. So I think, I'm broadly in agreement with how Tuchel's trying to build the team tactically. It'll be really interesting the number 10 role, because I think Rodgers and Kane have started to develop a nice relationship throughout the qualifiers because Bellingham was absent, he was injured. So now that he's back and available, it does feel like it's either Bellingham or Rodgers starting. And most people would say...
just on that point, do you think then you're talking about harmony in the squad and you're talking about Jude Bellingham? If he, first game of the World Cup, goes, Jude, you're sitting on the bench next to me and
That'll
Rodgers,
be a big
you're
moment.
starting. I mean, that sounds the harmony out the window on day one, isn't it?
That'll
Yeah,
be
but
a big
I
moment.
think Tuchel's strong enough. I think he's shown already with how he's dealt with Jude. He's left him out of a couple of squads. There's been things said. There's obviously... there's a relationship to be worked on, I would say, from both parties there. But I don't see a situation, unless Morgan Rodgers gets injured in the warm-up games, where Jude Bellingham starts the first game. I think it's
That's going to be a huge... I don't think many people have really cottoned onto that still in the wider media. The media are going to turn that into a massive thing. Yeah. And so Tuchel's ability to handle that, we talked about how honest he is in press conferences. I love it, but it makes me wince a little bit. After the Wales friendly at Wembley, he basically moaned about the poor atmosphere, and it felt like a shot at the fans. But anyone who goes to England games at Wembley, A, they know what to expect atmosphere-wise, and B, they know that all the factors that go into the poor atmosphere, it is not the individual fans' fault. It's because of the how difficult it is to get there, how expensive. Yeah. So he's already said a few things that make me somewhat concerned about how he's going to cope with it. Even though I am broadly optimistic, I do like him.
But I think that directness, that candidness he has, I think partly it's because, precisely because he's German, he doesn't care. He doesn't care as much. He loves London. He clearly has a really nice social life in London. But he knows that in 5 years, 10 years, he's going to be back in Germany. It's not like Graham Taylor, every time he goes into Tesco, the bloke in the cheese counter says, well, why did you take Lineker off? Yeah. He can, and I think that should give him more clarity.
Why didn't he send Koeman off?
Well, but you also look at, back in, again, like 2006, the team there, that you played in, and you look at the manager, you look at the setup, you look at the team, look at how it's dealt with, look at the press, look at everything. Look how we've moved on to now, 2018, 2022, where we are now, actually. It's completely different, the mentality on that. We had some great players in that day, and we all thought, I went to all these World Cups, I thought, yeah, we're going to win the World Cup. But looking back at it, I look back at some of the videos, I thought, God, blimey, I know we're a bit unlucky there, but we weren't going to win it. I think we're much more set up now as a rounded outfit, off the pitch and on the pitch, and the balance of these players, and you haven't got that kind of those selection problems that they just weren't dealt with, or players that were kind of, back then, 2006, South Africa 2010, there's all sorts of stuff going on in the changing room.
Well, they're the two World Cups I was involved in. I can't say now when I look back at my career, when people, at the end of your career, people say, oh, what are you proud of? And a lot of people say, I played in a couple of World Cups. I don't say that about myself. It's not so... Yes, I played in 2 World Cups. I don't think I enjoyed the experience. I didn't love it. I didn't come away thinking, wow, I was part of the World Cup. They never, and what you're saying, there was a lot of negativity. The team didn't do well. The media side of it, you didn't come away the way the lads in probably 1990, they get to the semi-final, still remembered now. What Gareth's done. And I do have a little nagging fear. I think Gareth Southgate's going to be a lot more appreciated in the next sort of 5 to 10 years, because I was a massive Southgate fan in terms of what he did with England, and people saying they underachieved and they should have done this with this team. I'm a little bit like this with this tournament, where I think England could, I think they'll find it tough, if I'm being totally honest, to look at the squad that's picked, and there's a lot of good players in there, but I class a lot of them as good Premier League players. I don't look at all of them and think, that's an international player there, and maybe that's where we are with the squad at the moment. So I wouldn't say I'm the most optimistic sort of right now. But I want to bring the guys in at the back there. What are you most looking forward to before you get into this World Cup? What is the thing you're looking at?
I think the thing's just been back there. The Scottish fans been back amongst the World Cup. Obviously hoping the Irish were going to be there as well, and it'd have been an even bigger party.
We had one.
But as I was saying earlier on, I think that there is now an expectation to get out the group and do well at it. We don't want to just be there for for the fun and the party, which will be there for sure. But I think that with this group, we've been together, the Scotland team, we've been together now for a good couple of years, been at a couple of major tournaments, had the experience, so the expectation is there to go out. The chances there, the first game against Haiti, which is probably the one I'm most worried about. We're notoriously bad against any team we're expected to win against. It'd probably been better.
But that's like a cup final, Haiti, isn't it? The first game. If you win that, then you've got an unbelievable chance of getting through, haven't you?
Yeah. And
Brazil's the last game, is that right?
Brazil's last game.
So
and
you don't want to come down to that, do you?
That'll be typical Scotland, though. We'll come down to
Brazil.
The game.
We'll probably leave it to have to beat Brazil to get through. That's probably how it's going to be.
Right.
OK, there are just 3 days to go until the World Cup's opening game between the co-hosts Mexico and South Africa, but the tournament's off-pitch problems still remain. Our chief correspondent, Kaveh Solhekol, is in New York, and we can speak to him live now. Good to see you, Kaveh, as always. So, look, what are the issues, then, facing FIFA ahead of this World Cup kicking off on Thursday?
Well, I think so far the most controversial thing about this World Cup is the ticket prices. I mean, you have to say they're really indefensible. The prices FIFA is asking football fans to pay to watch these games are absolutely scandalous. Another really controversial issue today is to do with FIFA's environmental policies, because we've had a report which says that this World Cup is set to be the most polluting World Cup ever. The report is from the universities of Manchester, Loughborough and Bristol, and they say that football's governing bodies are prioritising commercial expansion over environmental concerns. They say that football is getting too close to petrostates and companies, and also that this 48-team World Cup significantly increases emissions, because of course if you have more teams, it means you have more games, that means you have more travel, and that means you have more emissions. Now, the authors of the report make a series of recommendations, two key ones that really stand out for me. The first one is that FIFA should stop awarding tournaments to petrostates. Very laudable recommendation. But of course, the only problem is that the last World Cup was in Qatar, and the World Cup in 2034 has already been awarded by FIFA to Saudi Arabia. Another recommendation is that football authorities should halt the expansion of competitions. Well, again, very laudable recommendation, but if you look ahead to the next World Cup in 2030, incredibly, that is going to be held on not one, not two, but three continents. The World Cup is going to be in Spain, Portugal and Morocco, so we'll have games in Europe and Africa, and we're also going to have the three opening games in South America, in Argentina, Paraguay and Uruguay. And we've also got the situation where the South American Football Confederation wants that World Cup to be expanded from 48 teams to a scarcely believable 64 teams. Well, what have FIFA had to say about this? Well, previously, when it's come to defending their sustainability strategies, they've always said that major tournaments drive investment, infrastructure and development in host nations. And they also say that expanding competitions increases global participation and opportunities for smaller nations.
OK, so that's their answer to that. Look, Kaveh, you are currently in New York, aren't you? But the World Cup is not the only major sporting event in the city, is it?
No, the big event here this evening is Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. The Knicks are already 2-0 up. It's a best-of-7 series, so if they win another two games, they will become world champions for the first time since 1973. One of the real big talking points here today is that President Donald Trump is set to attend the game this evening at Madison Square Garden. If he does attend the game, he will become the first sitting president to attend an NBA Finals game. He's, of course, from New York. He's a Knicks fan. He's been invited to the game by the Knicks owner, James Dolan. I don't think he's been to a Knicks game for about 10 years. but apparently he's looking forward to being at Madison Square Garden. Now, the only concern is that I'm not sure how many Knicks fans actually want him to be at the game, because of course Donald Trump is a sort of divisive figure here, as he is all around the world. He has his supporters and he has a lot of people who don't like him. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of reaction he gets if he is at the game this evening. And his attendance is already inconveniencing lots of New Yorkers and especially Knicks fans, because this sort of wall of steel has been erected around Madison Square Garden. Any fans who are lucky enough to have tickets for the game are being told to arrive at least 2 hours early and not to bring any bags. So that is the focus here this evening, the NBA Finals. But of course, things move on very, very quickly, and I'm sure the focus, well, on Thursday there'll be another game between the Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs, and if the Knicks win this evening and also win on Thursday, they could be world champions on Thursday evening. But of course, on Thursday we also have the small matter of the biggest ever World Cup starting with the opening game in Mexico, and a tournament which is being described by academics back home in England as the most polluting World Cup ever.
Goodness me. OK, thank you very much indeed, Kaveh. Right, Christian Eriksen has confirmed he received a shock from his implanted defibrillator following his collapse during Denmark's friendly against Ukraine yesterday. Despite momentarily losing consciousness and being taken to hospital, the former Manchester United midfielder said it was a very different situation to the one back in 2021 when he suffered a cardiac arrest during a match at Euro 2020. Eriksen posted this on his Instagram. I want to let everyone know that I am doing well and that I'm home with my family. As you can probably imagine, receiving a shock from my ICD has had a major impact on both me and my family, but I want to reassure everyone that this was a different situation from what happened in 2021. I'm feeling good and my recovery has already started. In addition to being grateful for the support and assistance of all the players and the medical team on the field, I'm also incredibly grateful to the doctors who've cared for me and my heart over the years. Thanks to their expertise, my ICD did exactly what it was designed to do, protect me when I needed it. For now, my focus is on recovering, spending time with my family, going on vacation and playing football with my children. And we do wish him well. Jose Mourinho is set to return as Real Madrid manager after Florentino Perez won the election to continue as Real president. Let's head to Madrid and speak to our reporter Gary Cottrell, who's been right across this story. So we heard, didn't we? He confirmed last night that Jose is still expected to return in that victory speech. So when will we get confirmation of that, Gary?
Yeah, in 1972, Vicky, Jose Mourinho was 9. Tomorrow's June the 9th. So could it be by some great coincidence that it's June the 9th that we see Jose Mourinho unveiled his return to Real Madrid? Well, there's a possibility of that. Listen, the reason I'm standing a little bit in the road on this street in Madrid is twofold. One, to my right is a building where Florentino Perez celebrated his presidency, winning that election last night. The other reason is just to show you how quiet it is. The road's cordoned off. You can see the policeman behind me on the roadblock. That's because there's a very important person in town. Well, that important person isn't yet Jose Mourinho. It's Papa, as they call him here, the Pope, who is at the Bernabeu Stadium in front of me, and thousands of people in there to see what he's got to say this evening, including President Perez. There are pictures of him arriving to listen to the Pope. And there's some suggestion, not confirmed, I have to say, that the club haven't yet written their formal statement announcing formally the arrival of Jose Mourinho, even though we know he is going to be the new manager, just out of respect for the Pope and the fact that he's addressing his worshippers at the moment. There's still a chance that he will be announced formally today, and as I say, a chance he'll be in Madrid tomorrow. Also a chance he'll be in Madrid on Wednesday, but for sure, take my word for it, within the next 48 hours, Jose Mourinho will be here in Real Madrid to be unveiled to a set of fans who he knows, of course, very well indeed.
Yeah, it does indeed. Look, who's he bringing with him? That's the question, because the rumour mill has been rife with suggestions who will be with him on his coaching staff. What have you heard, Gary?
Well, listen, the reason I'm standing a little bit in the road on this street in Madrid is twofold. One, to my right is a building where Florentino Perez celebrated his presidency, winning that election last night. The other reason is just to show you how quiet it is. The road's cordoned off. You can see the policeman behind me on the roadblock. That's because there's a very important person in town. Well, that important person isn't yet Jose Mourinho. It's Papa, as they call him here, the Pope, who is at the Bernabeu Stadium in front of me, and Well, I know who his coaching staff are going to be. He's going to be bringing 5 coaches from Benfica, all of them apart from one Portuguese. The analyst is an Italian, and he won't be getting, as is being rumoured at the moment, quite heavily in Spain actually, former player Pepe, who spent 10 years at Real Madrid, including time in the first spell with Jose Mourinho. He isn't going to be a part of the coaching staff, and neither is Toni Kroos, who's also been linked on social media, in newspapers and media, particularly over here in Spain, with a return to Real Madrid. The two of them never worked together. Kroos arrived about a year after Jose Mourinho left for the first time, but both those rumours, I'm told, are not true.
OK. Good to hear. All right, you certainly have got your finger on the pulse, as always, and you might know something about this one then, because obviously Perez's campaign was also built on this promise of a new €150 million Galactico signing. Who's that going to be then, Gary?
I don't know that one, I have to say. And do you know what, Vicky, between you and me, I'm not sure President Perez knows either. It could be one of those proclamations, one of those promises that you make when you're trying to get elected. Although he has got a bit of a track record, has Perez, of delivering what he promises during elections. He delivered David Beckham after promising him. He delivered Ronaldo after promising. So there is some chance that that £150 million Galactico player will arrive, and everyone is guessing 150 million different guesses who it might be. Julian Alvarez. Alvarez has entered the discussion in recent hours over here. Obviously, that would raise eyebrows because he's at Atletico Madrid. We know he wants to go to Barcelona. Atletico happy to sell him for around that money, €150 million. Some interest from Arsenal as well, but it's a bit out of their price market, I think. But there is this kind of agreement, unwritten but kind of understood, that Atletico players won't go to Real Madrid and vice versa. So that really would set the cat among the pigeons. But definitely one of the most interesting things this summer to keep an eye on.
It certainly is, as are you. Thank you very much, Gary, with all your knowledge.